What's up, John? How you doing?
Good, good. So I got Matt Beckwith here with me. He's one of our owners at OVM and one of our top producers. Would you produce last year, Matt, your team?
We did $258 million, which was a good year for the team.
That's
So
that's
yeah,
incredible. Well, I wanted to, since we've had recent changes since the end of the last year, kind of wanted to talk to you about, obviously interest rates have climbed up to the upper 3%, low 4% range, and just kind of want to talk about how that's impacting the market, your thoughts. Is it going to derail the housing market? Is it going to slow down demand? What do you think? What are your initial thoughts as we head into this new year with new rates?
yeah, I think that's great. I think there's certainly a lot of people that are concerned, with the rates going up. But for me, personally, I've realized that this just happens in the mortgage business and the real estate business. Different economic conditions can cause rates to go up, rates to go down. And what we have to focus on as loan officers and our partners and our real estate agents is really just controlling what we can, controlling what we can control.
Right.
Because a lot of that stuff is out of our control. Do I think it's going to derail the housing market? No. Historically speaking, when rates go up, sure, there can be a little bit of a slowdown as far as buyers looking, but I don't see that changing the housing market drastically. There's always going to be people buying houses, coming and going, upgrading a house, downgrading a house, moving school districts, getting a yard, for their dogs or their kids or whatever they
Yeah.
need. So people are going to be buying houses. So from that standpoint, I'm not worried.
Okay. All good points. You're definitely going to always need a house, and we have a whole new generation of home buyers coming in, millennials and stuff like that. Do you think with the recent spike, and Fed announcing they're going to hike the rates, 2 to 3 more times this year, do you think right now, currently, there's a urgency like to go in and get in at where the rates are even, in the high 3%, low 4%? Is there more urgency in the next coming weeks, or what do you think?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've definitely seen a spike that can be attributed to that with that news. I know for us here at OVM over the last 2 weeks, we've had some very high credit pull numbers from all of our loan officers. So, it seems to be that that's the case where people want to try to get in there before the rates go up. The hard thing is people don't understand that mortgage rates aren't necessarily tied into the Fed increasing rates. They're not directly tied into it. And so what's more affecting the mortgage rates going up are the Fed tapering the bond purchase program. Mm-hmm. And that, even though it hasn't started, the fact that they said they're going to do it is the reason why the rates are going up. And so the market should have already adjusted for these initial changes, which we would hope to see some stabilization of the rates at some point soon.
Right.
Obviously, they could continue to go up. If I knew what was going to happen, we could make a lot more money than we do in the mortgage business. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. No one has a crystal ball, but yeah, I hope that's the case, Matt. I hope that it stables off and this is the new norm. And, like we always talk about, those rates are, still considerably low when you compare it to the early 2000s, when you compare it to the 90s and 80s. And it's still a great time to buy a house, and sure beats a rate on a credit card or a personal loan.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I first got in the mortgage business, rate, I sound really old when I say that, but rates were, we were 8, 9. I've seen all of them, when people were still buying houses. I think you have to kind of reset your expectations as a buyer at some point about what the rates are, but it doesn't mean you can't get a good payment or a great house at the same time.
Yeah. Obviously inventory levels are super low. Do you think the rates going up doesn't impact that at all? Or do you have any insight on inventory? I know that's kind of the main factor, is there's so low amount of homes, and, with the high demand, it creates a competitive market.
Yeah. That could help inventory, raising rates may decrease the amount of buyers in the marketplace, which could help increase the inventory, which will help the buyers that are actually looking for houses.
Yeah.
So with more inventory, obviously they'll have more options and, be able to get it at at a price that isn't in a competition situation. But I'm very excited about this year. Honestly, I know a lot of people are nervous and scared, but when you look at the track record of our company, you look at the track record of my personal originations over the last 10 to 12 years, there's always been ups and downs in the market and rates and all that kind of stuff, but we've continued to grow our business by focusing on what we can control. And so that's what I'm excited about, is just digging in and focusing on what we can control.
Yeah, all good points. And one last thing, I know you're a busy guy, I'll let you get going, but anything that agents, clients can do to stay ahead in this market, and things they can prepare for, as far as, with rates coming up, inventory levels low, what are some tips or things, strategic methods you share with your partners and clients that they could implement to help them in their business or general, home buying practice?
Yeah, I think, controlling what we can control and looking at what you're doing and just really getting back to the basics. I think the last couple of years, honestly, we've been spoiled with a lot of, with a good market, honestly. And so now's the time where you got to get back to the basics, make sure your follow-up game is on point, checking in with your clients, and really just monitoring the market to make sure you're keeping your clients engaged is really the key. But I think getting back to the basics is key. Cool.
And one thing too, I share with my partners how important it is to work with someone local, and, listing agents, especially, that have competitive offers. The sellers know how many offers are on the table, right? So they want to, when they choose one, they want to work with someone local that they can depend on and know that it's going to get to the closing table. So that's something I've been sharing with them, and something that listing agents want to see, because the last thing they want is to accept an offer from somebody that's difficult to communicate with and gets delayed in closing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's key. I mean, we've seen in my experience, listing agents typically prefer to have that local lender. If they need to call John Kersey and get a status update, he's available for them, versus trying to track somebody down that works in a call center, for like an internet mortgage company or something like that.
Yep. Okay, cool. Well, Matt, I appreciate your time, amigo.
All right, John, let me know if you need anything.